Before reading my offering, I'll speak shortly something about Srila Prabhupada. We're at a point in the world's history where civilization, if you want to call it that, is embarrassed, to say the least, and even being brought to its knees. I've always spoken about the apocalyptic twins, the twins of disaster. On the one hand, climate change. On the other hand, the threat of nuclear warfare. And those threats are increasing, not stabilizing nor decreasing. Sea levels are rising. Right now, 1/4 of Bangladesh, hundreds of millions of people living in Bangladesh. 1/4 of all the land in Bangladesh is underwater. Of course, that's a poor part of the world, so who cares? As long as it doesn't happen to the first world. But yes, the first world is subject to nature's wrath. And then there are the nuclear weapons, which haven't gone away. There are enough of them to destroy the earth hundreds of times over. Of course, you cannot destroy a planet, obliterate an entire planet, knock it out of existence without permission sanction from the devas. But nevertheless, you can make this planet an extraordinarily hellish place. While all that's going on, you have the pandemic, a zoonotic disease, as most of you know, caused by destructive interaction with animals, and therefore viruses pass from animals to human beings. It's a great time. In fact, it's a most appropriate time for human beings to realize that they have a distorted aim of life. They're not meant to be living the way they're living. Their particular mode of civilization destroys the urge for self-realization, crowds out the essential focus on spiritual development. Previously, throughout the world, people would respect a bit of mundane religiosity, material religiosity. But that respect for mundane, ritualistic religiosity, shallow religiosity, is also diminishing in terms of widespread social respect from most sections of society. We're meant to live in a real human civilization, which is about designing your life so that you can focus on your spiritual development as a number one priority, not something added in as an extra way down the line. In order to do that, of course, lifestyles have to be different. So what we call progress, human progress, is actually going the opposite way, obliterating destroying people's chances for a genuine and comprehensive spiritual focus. And people don't even think such a focus is necessary. Why would you want to do that? On Srila Prabhupada's appearance day, I'm remembering a purport in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in which he writes that all the resources necessary, all the natural resources and natural facilities necessary for a successful human life are provided by nature. And all human beings need to do is apply a little bit of energy and cleverness in a minimal utilization or transformation of those natural provisions, those natural resources, those natural gifts. That statement obviously implies a totally different kind of society. What we have today in the name of human advancement are massive industries, intricate technologies that destroy the finer human spirit, certainly, but also destroy the gross necessities like fresh air, fresh water, fresh food that human beings require. But we focus on the intricacies, the sophistication, the latest and greatest in terms of industry, technology. Meanwhile, COVID-19 says, I don't care. I'll drive you to your knees. And that's just one of so many possible infectious diseases. We have to say that Srila Prabhupada had very little faith in society, civilization as currently constructed. That doesn't mean persons can't have careers and career goals and education, but it does mean that they should be smart enough to understand that the civilization that they're part of is heading the wrong way, indeed heading over a cliff. People used to think, oh, doomsday talk. No, it's reality talk. And you can see that now more clearly with just the havoc caused by pandemics. You haven't seen nuclear weaponry havoc since 1945, when some little nuclear bomb, 2 nuclear bombs were dropped on Japan, but those nuclear bombs are considered firecrackers compared to what's available today, what's available for our delight, our destruction. So it's amazing how human beings carry on with their delusion of progress and advancement when all these dark clouds are in the sky threatening thunder and lightning at any moment. It's like we pick a day to go to the beach to have fun, or a day we can go to the beach and just minimally tolerate minimal disturbances by the weather. Meanwhile, over our heads are massive dark clouds, a funnel from a tornado, all kinds of inauspicious symptoms. Any moment, a lightning storm can erupt. Huge deluge of rain can happen any moment, but we're so focused on having a nice day at the beach, we ignore all that. So this is the kind of so-called civilization that we have. Into this madness comes Srila Prabhupada. And Amazingly, he takes it all on, like hand-to-hand combat, a frontal assault. This is not the way human beings live. Human beings have forgotten what it means to be human. He did not flinch. He grabbed by the handles, you might say, the whole problem of civilization and shook it. And so strongly pointed out to his followers, this is not the way real human beings live, with such distorted, perverted goals and perverted lifestyles. Missing the point completely in the name of advancement and progress. We've made no progress and we've gone backwards. Therefore, when you talk about simple living, depending on nature, most people can't relate to that. They don't have the background, they don't have the skills, they have a lot of fear, and they have based their lives on being apart from nature and living in an artificial environment. And we think this is just the way life is, this is normal. So we're so thankful to Srila Prabhupada for giving us the shake up and wake up call. And that shake up and wake up call is still there, resonating resoundingly after so many decades. Otherwise, we would just take this situation as, well, that's the way it's always been, that's the way it'll always be. But no, Srila Prabhupada told us that this is a deviation on a massive scale. This is perversion on a global scale. When have you ever heard someone speak like that? Day after day, month after month, year after year. We take our vices and corrupt behavior as just the way people live, you know? You're just trying to enjoy. Meanwhile, the social fabric of society is disintegrating. So just see how it's happening all around. World peace is disintegrating. Family peace is disintegrating. Societal peace is disintegrating. Where do you turn for stability? Maybe we need an autocrat, a dictator. Often human beings will go that route, like in Nazi Germany and other places of the world. A strong man will save us. And history shows those strong men destroy their people and destroy themselves too. But human beings don't learn their lessons by experience. There's one saying you may have heard me quote. History teaches the best lessons, but history has no students. The classroom is empty. So today on Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja, we express our gratitude for the shake up, wake up call. It reminds me of the old nursery school rhyme. Maybe you remember it from your daycare centers. When your parents may have dropped you off at a daycare center, or they taught you at home. If Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty together again. So how to thrive in such a disintegrating atmosphere. Bhakti gives us the skills to do that. We become more self-reliant, more dependent on the inner gifts that the parampara has given us. Someone needs to mute their microphone. We appreciate that Krishna has given us incentive to be more serious. Yes, there are inconveniences, there are disruptions, there are threats to our physical life. But this body won't last. It's our duty to take care of it as best we can for engaging in Krishna's service. But the fact is, your body, my body, will not last. So we appreciate the jolts. In case we've forgotten, the material world is an inconvenient place, to say the least. We've become very soft. We've become attached to getting our way, individually and as a society, depending on where you live in the world. If you live in Bangladesh, your tune would be different. But if you're living in New Zealand, Australia, USA, other parts of the first world, you're used to some kind of normalcy. But that sense of being in a normal situation masks the utter hypocrisy and exploitation of nature and other species that's going on all the time. So how can you be a person of integrity living in today's circumstances? Should we just become panic-driven, prepare for everything to fall apart, and that's the essence of our life? No. We should increase our focus on what is it that Krishna wants, and how can we provide that? Let's use these present circumstances to become better servants. The challenges push us to rise, to lift our game. And these are certainly challenging times. You'll see, mark my word, you will see the best and the worst of human nature in the coming years. There have been sociological studies done of human response to calamity. And it's a polarizing response. Some people become very saintly. Others become very grotesque and demoniac. The middle breaks apart. People go this extreme, that extreme, or follow those who are on this extreme or that extreme. Follow like sheep. Our hope is that we can assist Srila Prabhupada, assist the Guru Parampara in providing meaningful change, meaningful transformation. These are circumstances for heroism. Ordinary persons, of course, no devotee is ordinary, but devotees who think themselves to be ordinary during times like this have a chance to capture Krishna's special attention. So again, we express our gratitude today to Srila Prabhupada for the strong, unforgettable, shake up, wake up calls. What he's been saying in his books, in his talks for so long. But we were, in cricket playing countries, they would say, well, we thought we were on a good wicket, speaking as human society as a whole. We thought we were in a good quarter or half of the match, of the game. Things are going our way, we thought. We didn't see the signs of breakdown. This is what the mode of passion does to us. And a civilization based on passion and ignorance simply blinds people in the name of progress. So now I'd like to read to you my offering to His Divine Grace today. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my most grateful and respectful obeisances at your lotus feet. Far down at the bottom of the earth, gazing over the Pacific Ocean, I meditate not on the immense waters thundering as countless waves, but on the boundless expanse of your mercy, dynamically reconnecting us to the Supreme Beloved. Although the planet Earth contains twice as much water as land, who today can fully fathom the mysteries of the sea? Oceanographers are fond of saying that science knows less about the high seas than it does about the moon. One day, humankind may comprehend the deepest secrets of the ocean and the moon, but who can ever grasp the depths and scope of your compassion and mercy? Dedication to your lotus feet bestows the chance to develop love for Radha and Krishna. How is it that I am allowed to approach your divine lotus feet, the magnanimous treasure trove of pure bhakti? Why did you dare engage such a wretch in life's most exalted activity, devotional service? Through the thick and thin of my meager attempts to serve you, why do you bother to sustain such an inconsequential speck, a most diminutive insect-like semblance of a devotee? Akrura, on his way to Vrindavan, beautifully illustrated the miraculousness of your divine rescue mission, the incomparable intervention. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 38, verse 5. Just as a blade of grass floating on the waves of a river may by chance come near the shore and gain shelter, a conditioned soul, carried away by the waves of material existence, may sometimes be saved by the grace of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared to Sanatana Goswami, "My dear Sanatana, Krishna has saved you from Maharorava, life's deepest hell. He is an ocean of mercy, and his activities are very grave." Swiftly, most appropriately, Sanatana replied, "I do not know who Krishna is. As far as I'm concerned, I have been released from prison only by your mercy." It's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 20, 63 to 64 text. With the strength you grant, I can then strive to never forget both the darkest depths of ignorance from where I came and the most exalted destination to where I can go. Without at least a lifetime of humble service to your lotus feet, I'll never resolve the most confidential perplexity of existence. This verse is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, Chapter 1, Text 6. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Shachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. How is it the two appear as the one, and the one appears as the two? You have the right to reveal this most oceanic divine mystery. High above my shameful head, I hold this most precious goal. Waiting in service, I beg for your glance upon me and for your eternal guidance. Your hopeful servant, Devamrita Swami. So let us continue to glorify Srila Prabhupada, and wherever you are, please continue this focus on the glories of Srila Prabhupada, the one who, answering the instruction given by his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, carrying out those directives, he launched such an impossible task to turn around the entire human society. After all, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, whenever and wherever there's such a drastic imbalance in human affairs, the material gets outrageous and the spiritual becomes forgotten. Dharmasya Galani, the extreme imbalance. When that happens, Krishna says he comes. His coming means he comes himself. He comes as his name, Nam Sankirtan. He comes as Srimad Bhagavatam, and he comes as his special representative. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.